A true testament to the era of gaming from which it came, with a liberal use of slow motion, and oh my god, why does he look like that? Lucius is one of the strangest, goofiest, and crudest games I have ever had the pleasure of experiencing. From developer oversights to good old-fashioned bugs, this one put me through the ringer for its achievements. So, let's get into it. We play as the titular young lad, opening at his 6th birthday party, a party only attended by his parents, grandfather, and the manor's staff. I'm sure Lucius would look over the moon if he had any control over his facial features. And yes, Lucius was in fact born on June 6, 1966, which, if we're counting, is too many sixes for the joke. Before he gets to enjoy his cake, his mother tells him, a Nepo baby who is 6 years old, to help the maid with the dishes from his own birthday party and then head straight to bed. It's no wonder that sends him right over the edge, and he is visited by a vision of Lucifer, also known as Satan, also known as Lucius's papa. Yeah, Nancy a freak, bro. It will surprise no one to learn that this dead-eyed mute child is the son of Satan, and he is instructed to murder the members of his household as offerings to his subterranean papa. Figuring out how to do so without getting caught, all while being unable to reach the top shelf, is the core game loop. You had so long to move 6 inches that direction. Are you kidding? Willing to help us in this venture, Lucifer gives us powers throughout the game, such as telekinesis, mind control, and, my favorite, combustion. But the powers don't solve all of our problems. At times, this game reminds me of Hitman, if Agent 47 was a demon child with a vacant glazed stare. Unlike Hitman, in which you can often find several ways to kill a target, there is only one correct path for Lucius, and you will need to have the correct combination of items to accomplish said path. With items being so key in the game, surely they'll be easy to find or obvious how to use them, she said with optimism. In fact, no. They are scattered throughout the manor with no logical rhyme or reason, forcing you to search through hundreds of drawers only to find a whiskey bottle in a random closet that won't be needed until Chapter 8. Confoundingly, you can collect most items in this game at any time, despite having no idea what to do with them and no clue why they're special. So now, being a 6-year-old demon child laden with pockets absolutely chock-a-block with items, we need to know which ones to use to kill our specific target. Surely the game must provide some clear guidelines on how we're expected to fulfill our task, she said with hopeful desperation. Well, not really, and please stop calling me Shirley. We are instead given a notebook that Lucius fills with anecdotes regarding everyone in the house, plus a map of the manor, which tracks our current target anywhere on the property. The downside is, for the immersion, it's all from the perspective of a 6-year-old. The language is simple, the map is infantile with a confounding legend, the text overlaps. Ooh, wait, no, I think that's just an oversight. All of this to say that it is really hard to know how to kill these people, but kill them we must, not just for our download daddy, but also for achievements. There are an astounding 58 achievements in Lucius. We get 1 for each confirmed kill, 20 in total. Also, just by playing, I unlock Devil's Trainee for completing all tutorials, Dr. Kevorkian for assisting on 3 self-help kills, and 4 more achievements for max leveling all of my powers. Those are all of the unmissable achievements, which unfortunately only adds up to 26. Less than half of our goal, and most of the other achievements are grindy, so I'll get to those later. Last thing of note before I get into the homicide, Lucius will, bafflingly, be given chores as he picks off those around him one by one. Brush his teeth, clean his room, take out the trash, find random crap for the staff members. And you may think, why would the son of Satan realistically do his chores? Lucius earns good boy points for completing them, and if I get enough good boy points, I earn rewards. I've been a very good boy. There's a present for me. There's a present in my room. I'm a very good boy. In order, I unlock a Ouija board, a music box, and last but not least, Oh, hell yeah, brother. The ladies love it. Now, I'm not going to be breaking down every single kill because, as I mentioned, there's 20 of them, but let's discuss some of my favorites. Starting with the first one, Mary. Her kill was nice and easy. Use my little Lego hands to grab a padlock, lock Mary in the freezer, and turn it way down low. Naturally, we can't leave the padlock there since we need to make it look like natural causes. Later that night, we hop out of bed in our little Argyle jammies, figure out how to work the unnecessarily convoluted item combination system, run and grab the lock. At this point, we are introduced to our narrator, Detective MacGuffin, which that is a good-ass name for a homicide detective. MacGuffin, the gumshoe. Sadly, for everyone who lives and works at Dante Manor, yes, that's the name of the estate, MacGuffin only sounds like he would be good at his job. In practice, he is terrible. Take, for example, his first appearance where he comes on scene after Mary's death.
Detective MacGuffin, what do we got here?
It looks like a cardiac arrest, sir. The woman collapsed in the walk-in freezer. This was probably caused by the sudden change of temperature. She was in her mid-50s.
Typical of women her age. Did you talk with the owner of the house?
No, sir. They're waiting for you in the kitchen.
Normal for a woman her age? Cardiac arrest in a freezer in her 50s can be hand-waved away as normal for a woman her age. Alright, but let's cut MacGuffin some slack. There is intentionally no signs of foul play, so he rules it as a natural death. The problem is, MacGuffin considers the next several deaths to all be unlucky accidents or, at worst, negligence. This guy lighting his cigarette on a broken gas stove? Accident. The piano falling on the maintenance man? Accident. The butcher doing a strange mating dance and falling face first onto his own running circular saw? For sure an accident. I'm not saying MacGuffin is the worst homicide detective ever. I'm just saying that Helen Keller would turn less of a blind eye to all of this. It is not until the 5th death that MacGuffin decides something funny is going on here. And that's only because there's literally no plausible deniability in the 5th death, seeing as I poisoned her. He had no other choice but to consider it suspicious. Up next, I would be completely remiss if I did not discuss Jovita. She's one of the maids and is in a committed relationship with Lucius's uncle, Tom. At least she thinks she's in a relationship with Tom. Tom is, in actuality, a dirty little gooner who cuts porno tapes in his man cave, and is also screwing around with the other maid, Susan. We find that information out the hard way. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright, one more look. Okay, yep. That's what I thought. Now, Jovita is actually super nice. Way too nice for Tom, especially because Susan doesn't know about Jovita and Tom being together. So honestly, he's playing both of them. All that said, this is too good of an opportunity to pass up. I turn their tete-a-tete into a Kodak moment, plant it in Jovita's room for her to find, along with the rat poison I used on the last kill, and the padlock I used to kill Mary, the first death. How they're meant to connect that padlock to Mary, I'm not sure, but that's above my pay grade. We'll leave that to good old MacGuffin. Jovita, naturally upset, runs off to the balcony for a good cry. And what an opportune moment to have mind control powers. Swan dive. Oh. So now, with Jovita taking a couple different types of falls, and MacGuffin satisfied that he's cracked this case, we are left with 3 more impending problems hanging over our little head. First of all, the priests are beginning to sniff around, and they suspect Lucius isn't normal. Although who knows where they got that idea from. He was very well behaved in their presence. Secondly, our father is beginning to believe that Lucius is possessed and involved in all of this somehow. He wants to get Lucius mental help, while Nancy is vehemently opposed to it, since it would call into question her parenting skills.
my God.
Something to keep in mind
Charles,
for later.
Have we not been
Most pressingly, pun intended, there's a reporter who is really committed to breaking the story on Dante Manor and refuses to accept no as an answer, no matter how staunchly the no is delivered.
I'd like to ask a few questions about the series of unusual deaths that have occurred over the last few months.
Now listen to me. You leave those people alone. They've had some bad luck is all. They're nice people, and they need space to get over their losses, okay? And if I find you anywhere near this house again, I'll run you in. You got it?
He goes so far as to break into Dante Manor in the dead of night. When he's caught by Lucius's papa, who is also a Satanist, naturally, he actually thinks this is a great opportunity for an exclusive scoop.
Ah, you surprised me. I'm Wayne Preston from the Herald. I'd like a word with you about recent events here at Dante Manor. I'm willing to pay handsomely for information.
This man has negative survival instincts. Papa pulls the classic,
Why would I call the cops? Somebody broke into my house? That's evidence. That's witnesses. That's paperwork.
hard cuts to Lucius making his way down to the super secret hidden ritual room and setting up for the reporter's sacrifice. Lucius is very clearly a rule follower, and Lucifer did say to kill everyone in the house. Sorry, Papa. I love you. Of course, the reporter comes to at the worst possible moment, grabs the ritual knife, and cuts himself free. Now, none of this game has been technically good. It's enjoyable only because it's so ridiculously bad. But combat, especially in this fight, is atrocious. The reporter keeps going around and flipping the crosses right side up throughout the ritual room, which depletes Lucius's power, making it so I can't use combustion, my only offensive option. He's much faster than me, what with those damn long, shapely legs. And he kills Lucius in one hit. This was really terrible, and that's before considering the implication of crosses lining the ritual room. Why are these even here? Moving on, we clear out the rest of the hired help and are left with only our mother, our father, a couple of priests, and the two cops. Sounds like the start of a bad joke. At this point, MacGuffin has decided that the true culprit must be our father, and our father is convinced that it's us, while Nancy is in the middle of some kind of psychotic breakdown. I'm not sure she's on this planet. Lucius decides that Nancy is the next to go. Sorry, Mom. And sets it up so our father kills her with a nail gun right in front of the cops. Ruthless. He splits, with MacGuffin hot on his tail, which leaves us in the care of backup mall cop number 2. Whoa! Beyblade, let her rip! Why wouldn't you think that would come back around? Whoa! After he's handled, a couple of priests spawn out of nowhere for no discernible reason. They get same-day delivery straight up to their god, but despite the fact that combustion has had absolutely no effect on my surroundings this whole time, now I set this bitch ablaze. Dante Manor, welcome to Dante's Inferno. MacGuffin, the lead detective of complete ineptitude, loses track of our dad and he circles around to the now on fire Dante Manor. So it's just us two, mano y mano. Show me your fight face. Good. This fight took me a while to figure out what to even do, because he has a fire extinguisher, nullifying our only attack power, and that extinguisher has a secondary use. Turns out we need to turn the house itself into our weapon. We slow motion walk out of Dante Manor, the sole survivor. After finishing the game, we do gain access to this strange minigame where Lucius is in an open field being chased by endless priests. I can admit, not the greatest optics. It was fun for a couple of rounds, but there are no achievements in it, so I shortly backtracked to my impending metric shit ton of grind. Let's get our very few non-grind achievements out of the way first. I unlock Frank Morris for getting myself trapped in this cage in the garage. And if you remember those good boy rewards, I got Mommy's Little Helper for getting all 3 of them, and I also got Music is All Around Us for using the music box. There's an achievement for finding the sacrificial chamber before it's time to use it, which honestly, for being a satanic sacrificial chamber, it is not very well hidden. And our last non-grind achievement is Sherlock, for unlocking Father's gun safe without knowing the code. Oh yeah, I didn't mention the gun. In a brutal killing, we have our tutor shoot himself with our dad's gun. Now, before we set the gun in front of him, technically Lucius can just carry it and shoot it. And if a person is standing in front of us when that happens, well... There are 2 achievements for shooting 1 person and 5, respectively. The issue with this is, when you shoot someone, you get in trouble. Yeah, I was surprised too. But when you get caught, you have to restart the chapter. Meaning, each time we use this gun, we have to start all over. Unlocking the safe, collecting the bullets. Super annoying. The only saving grace is that this can do double duty towards They See Me Rolling if, Lucifer forbid, we get seen with the gun before we get to use it. There are achievements for using all of the skills 5 and 10 times each. Burning 5 people alive, talking to a bunch of people, reading my journal, flipping crosses, turning off the TV, opening 50 drawers, turn off 20 light switches, and take 20 pictures. Basically a whole bunch of bullcrap. There are also achievements for having 20 items in the inventory along with combining 6 of them. This is a little trickier than it sounds because I need to be sure to unlock Hoarder before I start combining anything, since at some point there just won't be enough items in the game. There are 4 achievements related to breaking shit, and we are nearly finished. Target Insight. The last achievements were the worst, to be frank. And trust me, it's not easy to be frank because my name is Bun. It's not instinctive. For Marathon, I need to have Lucius log 26 miles on foot. Then, for Tour de Dante Manor, I need to have him use the tricycle for 10 miles. It was not a very stimulating experience. But speaking of not stimulating, our last 2 achievements are awarded for playing the game for 20 and 40 hours, respectively. Between my playthrough of the game and all of the aforementioned grind, I had played the game for 7 hours, which, I'm not a mathematician, but that's not very close to 40. I had to leave this game running while I was sleeping for days. Very cool, thank you. But after that, we have closed the book on Lucius. What is there really that needs to be said about such a masterpiece? It's obviously really bad. The design is poor, even in concept. The player is grasping in the dark for any hint about how to proceed, and the models express less emotion than Santa Monica Boulevard when there's a buy one get one free sale on Botox. All of that is true, and yet it's on just the right side of janky that regularly had me in stitches. This game is unintentionally a comedy. Everything is so absurd, the models move so unnaturally, it's just so funny. Unbelievably, this dev team went back to the well for Lucius 2 and Lucius 3, plus a Lucius D-make for the first entry. Who was funding all this? I just have a question for them. Why? And can I borrow some money? While the game itself is charming in its own way, the achievements suck. This was not a fun achievement hunt. The game is only like 3 hours long and y'all make me play it for 40? But I guess it wasn't hard, so if you can deal with that, okay, go ahead. TLDR, if you are also inflicted with whatever illness it is that makes me enjoy bad games, I would recommend playing Lucius on a sale, maybe. But for achievements, no. No. That's all I have though. Until next time, bye-bye!